Morning students. Today I am going to discuss Contemporary India 1 Social Science Geography Class 9 Chapter 2 and the chapter name is Physical Features of India. It is most important and interesting chapter. At first, you have already learned that India is a vast country with different types of landforms. Now, what kind of landform do you live in? If you live in the plains area, you are familiar with the vast stretches of plain land. And if you live in hilly or mountain region, the uneven landform with mountains and valleys are common features there. In fact, our country has practically all major physical features of the earth, that is mountains, plains, desert, plateaus, coastal plains and islands. Now, we will learn more about major physical features of India and how they have been formed. India is a large landmass and vast plainland which formed during different geological periods which has influenced her landforms. Various landforms included are mountains, plains, plateaus, desert, coastal plains and islands. We find different types of rocks in the earth's surface. Some are very hard like marble which has been used for making the Taj Mahal, and some are very soft like soapstone which is used in making talcum powder. The color of soil varies from one place to another place because soil is formed out of different types of rocks. Like black soil is formed on the basalt rocks. Most of these variations are caused due to the difference in rock formation. Here, earth scientists have attempted to explain the formation of physical features with the help of some theories based on certain evidences. One such possible theory is the plate tectonic theories. And according to these theories, the upper part of the earth has been formed out of 7 major and some minor plates. The movement of these plates result in the building of different kinds of landforms like mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. on the earth's surface. Here we see the 7 major plates. First one, Pacific plate, North American plate, South American plate, African plate, Eurasian plate, Indo-Australian plate and Antarctica plate. Plate movements. There are 3 types of plate movements on the earth's surface. When some plates come towards each other and form convergent boundary, they may either collide or may slide under the other. Convergence of plates may result into activities like earthquake and volcanisms. And formation of Himalayas is a result of convergence of plates. So the first plate movement is convergent plate movements or convergent boundary. Second one is divergent boundary. When 2 plates moves away from each other and creating gap between the 2 plates are known as divergent boundary. Divergence of plates may result into volcanic eruption and formation of Great Atlantic Drift in the Atlantic Ocean is a result of divergence of plates. Number 3 is transform boundary or transform plate movements. When 2 plates move horizontally each other and form transform boundary, they do not come towards each other, or also they do not move away from each other. The movement of these plates have changed the position and size of the continent over millions of years. Most of the volcanoes and earthquakes in the world are located at the plate margins, but some do occur with the plates. Here we see the 3 types of plate boundaries. First one is convergent, second one is divergent and third one is transform. The arrow demarcated the movement of the plates. The first one is convergent boundary where 2 plates come towards each other. Second one is divergent boundary, where two places move away from each other. And third one is transform boundary, where two places move parallelly each other. The oldest landmass, or the peninsular part or the southern part of India, was a part of the Gondwana land. At first, the world has a supercontinent, which is called Pangaea and has one ocean, which is called Panthalassa. The Gondwana land included India, Australia, South Africa, Antarctica, South America, and are as one single landmasses. The southern part of the ancient supercontinent is known as Gondwana land, and the northern part is known as Ongara land. The convectional current split or break the crust into a number of pieces, thus leading to the drifting of the Indo-Australian plate after being separated from Gondwana and moves towards the northern side. Here, convectional current means a current or a flow that generated in the mantle of magma. The Indo-Australian plate drift or move resulted in the collisions of the plate with the much larger than Eurasian plate. Due to these collisions, the sedimentary rocks which are accumulated in the geosyncline means a narrow and shallow sea, known as Tethys, were folded to form the mountain system Himalayas. Actually, the Himalayas uplifted out of the Tethys Sea, where two plates, Indo-Australian plates and Eurasian plate, converged. The land of India display great physical variations. Geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient landmasses on the Earth's surface, and Himalayan mountains form an unstable zone. The whole mountain system of Himalaya represents a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys, and fast-flowing rivers. The northern plains are formed of alluvial deposits. The peninsular plateau is composed of igneous and metamorphic rocks with gently rising hills and wide valleys. Now the physical division of India. There are 6 physical divisions in India. Number 1 is Himalayan mountains. Number 2 the northern plains. Number 3 the peninsular plateau. Number 4 the desert. Number 5 the coastal plain, and the last one the island. Here we see the picture. The upper part of the India is the Himalayan mountain region. The southern part of the Himalayan mountain is called the northern plains. The pink color side of the Indian part is known as Indian desert. The southern part of India is known as peninsular plateau. Beside the peninsular plateau, it is located the coastal plain, and there are 2 islands on the 2 sides of India. One is Andaman and Nicobar Island and another is Lakshadweep Islands. Here we see the different physiographic division of India and their subparts, and right side picture shows the physical features of India. Here we show the different mountain range of India. On the northern side, the Himalayan mountain range show on the brown color lines. Southern part is Deccan Plateau or Peninsular Plateau. In the middle of India, there are 2 mountain range, Vindhya Range and Satpura Range. On the western part of India, there are Aravalli Range also. And northwestern part of India, there are 3 hills, Garo, Khasi and Jayantia hills. First physical features, the Himalayan mountains. The Himalayas, geologically young and structurally fold mountains, stretches over the northern borders of India. It represents the loftiest and one of the most rough mountain barrier of the world. This mountain range run in a west-east direction from the Indus River to the Brahmaputra River, and they form an arc or curvature shape, which covers a distance of about 2400 km. Their width varies from 400 km in Kashmir side to 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh side. The altitudinal or height variations are greater in the eastern half than those in the western half. The Himalayas consist of three parallel ranges from north to south. And these three parallel ranges are number 1 Himadri or Inner Himalayas or the Great Himalayas, number 2 Himachal or Lesser Himalayas, and number 3 Shivalik Himalayas. First one, Himadri or Inner Himalayas. It is the most northernmost range of the Himalayas, and it is the most continuous ranges consisting of the loftiest peak with an average height of 6,000 meters. Most of the prominent Himalayan peaks like Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Nanda Devi, Annapurna, Dhavalgiri, etc. are located here. It is permanently snowbound and a number of glaciers descend from this range. It contains all the prominent Himalayan peaks, and the core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite rocks. Here you see the two short question. Which is the highest peak of the world? The answer is Mount Everest, which is belong to the Himalayan mountain range. And which is the second highest peak of India? Kanchenjunga, which is also belong to the Himalayan mountain range and subpart of Himadri. Next, Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. The range lying to the south of the Himalayas stands the Himachal or the Lesser Himalayas. The range are mainly composed of highly compressed and alternative rocks and average height between 3,700 to 4,500 meter, and the average width is of 50 km. It is also most rough or uneven mountain system. Himachal Himalaya consists of Musauri, Naktippa, Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar peaks, while the Pir Panjal range is the longest and the most important range in this part. Some famous valleys are also located here like Kashmir Valley, Kangra Valley, Kulu Valley, and some well-known hill stations are also there. Third one is Shivalik Himalayas. This is the outermost range of the Himalayas is called the Shivalik Himalayas. They extend over a width of 10 to 15 km and height between 900 to 1100 meter. Jammu and Dafla peaks are located here. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium, and the valleys lying between the Himachal and Shivaliks are known as dunes. So it is an important question. What is dunes? The valleys lying between the Himachal and Shivaliks are known as dunes, like Dehradun, Kotli Dun, Patli Dun, etc. These ranges are also composed of unconsolidated sediments which is brought down by rivers. Further divisions of Himalayas, and these Himalayas divisions basis on the river valleys. Number 1 Punjab Himalayas, number 2 Kumaun Himalayas, number 3 Nepal Himalayas, number 4 Assam Himalayas, and last Purvanchal Hills. Punjab Himalayas, this part of the Himalayas lying between the Indus and the Satluj rivers. Kumaun Himalayas lies in between the Satluj and the Kali rivers. Nepal Himalayas lying in between the Kali and the Tista rivers, and Assam Himalayas lying in between the Tista and the Dhiang rivers. And last Purvanchal Hills, the northeastern extension of the Himalayas are known as Purvanchal Hills. These hills running through the northeastern states and are mostly composed of strong sandstones which are sedimentary rocks. The Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, Manipur Hills, and the Mizo Hills. Here we see the pictures of the Himalayan mountain. Second physical features is the northern plains. The northern plains has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems of India, namely the Indus River, the Ganga River and the Brahmaputra River, and along their tributaries. This plain is formed of alluvial soil and it is the fertile plain. The deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years and form this fertile plain. Total area is 7 lakh square kilometer and the plain being about 2400 km long and 2040 to 320 km broad. It is densely populated physiographic division and with a rich soil cover and combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate, it is agriculturally a very productive part of India. Maximum agricultural crops are productive here. The northern plains broadly divided into three parts: Punjab plains, Ganga plains and Brahmaputra plains. Number 1. Punjab plains. The western part of the northern plains is referred to as the Punjab plains and it is spread over the states of Punjab, Haryana, some parts of Delhi, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, etc. And these plains formed by the Indus and their tributaries rivers like Chenab, Satluj, Jhelum, Beas, etc. And the larger part of this plain lie in Pakistan. Number 2. Ganga plains. The central part of the northern plain is referred to as the Ganga plains and it extends between the Ghaghra and the Tista rivers. It is spread over the states of northern India like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Delhi, West Bengal and some parts of Jharkhand. Number 3 is Brahmaputra plain. The eastern part of the northern plains are known as Brahmaputra plain and they cover the areas of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh and these plains from the river Brahmaputra and their tributaries. According to the variation in relief features, the northern plains further divided into 4 regions. Basically, the northern plains are generally described as a flat surface with no variation in its relief. But it is not true. These vast plains also have different relief features. The 4 relief features are Bhabar, Tarai, Bhangar and Khadar. Bhabar, the rivers after descending from the mountains deposit the pebbles, sandstones or boulders in a narrow belt of about 8 to 10 km in width lying parallel to the slope of the Shivaliks. This area is known as Bhabar area. Number 2. Tarai. South of the Bhabar, the wet, swampy and marshy region is known as Tarai and it was a thickly forested region and full of wildlife. Number 3. Bhangar. The largest part of the northern plains is known as Bhangar and it is forms old alluvium soils and it is unfertile area. Number 4. Khadar. The newer, younger deposit of the flat plains are called Khadar. These are so fertile and ideal for agriculture. Here we see the pictures of northern plains. It is most productive parts of India and maximum agricultural crops are grown on the northern plains area. Number 3 physical features is Peninsular Plateau. Peninsular Plateau is the tableland and it's composed of the old igneous and metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land, which is the ancient landmass, and thus making it is a part of the oldest landmass. The Peninsular Plateau is spread over the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and also Chhattisgarh. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. And one of the distinct features of this peninsular plateau is the black soil area, which is known as Deccan Trap. This plateau also divided into two parts. The upper part is known as Central Highland and the lower part is known as Deccan Plateau. The first, Central Highland. The northern part of the Narmada River is known as Central Highland and it covers the measuring area of the Malwa Plateau. The Vindhya range is bounded by the Central Highland on the south and the Aravallis on the west. They are wider in the western side but narrow in the eastern side, and this plateau are also known as Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand Plateau on the eastern side. Chotanagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension of this plateau where the Damodar rivers flow. The Chambal, Betwa, Ken rivers are also flow on these regions from southwest to northeast direction. Number 2, Deccan Plateau. The southern part of the Narmada River is known as Deccan Plateau and it is a triangular landmass. This plateau is higher in the western side and slopes gently eastern side. This plateau is also visible in the northeastern part of India, locally known as Meghalaya Plateau, Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Kutcher Hills. Satpura range situated to the north of this plateau, while the Mahadev, Kaimur Hills and Moikal range form its eastern extension. Two mountain range, Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat, marks the western and the eastern edge of the Deccan Plateau respectively. Now discuss the difference between the Western Ghat mountain range and Eastern Ghat mountain range. Number 1. Western Ghat mountain range lies parallel to the western coast and form the western boundary of the Deccan Plateau. Eastern Ghats lie parallel to the eastern coast and form the eastern boundary of the Deccan Plateau. Number 2. Western Ghat mountain range are continuous and can be crossed only through some passes. Like Palghat, it is situated in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Thalghat in Nashik and Bhorghat in Pune. But Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and it is dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. Number 3. The Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats and the average height is 900 to 1600 meters. But the Eastern Ghat is lower than the Western Ghat with an average height of 600 meters. Number 4. The highest peak of this region is Anaimudi and the highest peak of the Eastern Ghat is Mahendragiri. It is the important question in this chapter, difference between Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. Now, describe the fourth features, the Indian desert. It lies towards the western margin of the Aravalli Hills, which is situated on the state of Rajasthan. It is an undulating sandy plains covered with sand dunes. This region receives very low rainfall below 150 mm per year. It has dry area or dry climatic area with low vegetation cover. Luni is the only large river in this region. But some streams or small rivers appear during the rainy season in this area. Soon after they are disappear or vanish into the sand as they do not have enough water to reach the sea. Barkhan and a longitudinal dunes are seen in this region. Barkhan means a creation or curvature shaped sand dunes. If you visit Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, then you may see this type of sand dunes, barkhans and longitudinal dunes. Here we see the picture of Indian desert. Fifth physical features is the coastal plains. There are two coastal plains in India. One is Western Coastal Plain and another is Eastern Coastal Plains. Western Coastal Plains lying along the Arabian Sea on the west and Eastern Coastal Plains lying along the Bay of Bengal on the east. The difference between western and eastern coastal plains are: number 1, western coastal plains is a narrow plain and it lies between the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea. But eastern coastal plain is a wide and level plain and it lies between the Eastern Ghat mountain range and the Bay of Bengal. Western coastal plain consists of 3 sections. The northern part of this coast is called Konkon Coast, central part is called Kannur Coast, and the southern part is called Malabar Coast. But eastern coastal plain divided into 2 parts. Northern part is called North Sircar Coast and southern part is called Coromandel Coast. Large rivers such as Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri have formed extensive delta on the eastern coastal plains. Here you see the coastal plains of India. It is lying between the peninsular plateau area and the sea area. Last physical feature is the islands. India has 2 groups of islands. One is Lakshadweep Island and another is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Lakshadweep Islands lies close to the Malabar coast of Kerala, and these islands are composed of small coral. Coral means microscopic sea organisms. These islands have great diversity or variety of flora means plants and fauna means animals. It covers a small area of 32 square kilometer and Kavaratti Island is the capital of Lakshadweep Island. Earlier, Lakshadweep Islands were known as Lakshadweep, Minicoy and Aminideep. But in 1973, these were named as Lakshadweep Island. The features of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are: these are elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal and extending from north to south. They are bigger in size and more numerous and scattered. They are divided into 2 parts. The northern part is called Andaman and the southern part is called Nicobar. These islands are an elevation portion of submarine mountains and have a great diversity or variety of plants and animals. These islands lie close to the equator and experience equatorial climate, and rainfall and temperature is also high there, and there has tropical evergreen rainforest cover. Here we see one part of Andaman and Nicobar Islands and one part of Lakshadweep Island. Left one side is Andaman and Nicobar Islands and right one side is Lakshadweep Islands. Importance of physical divisions. It would be clear that each region complements the other and makes the country richer in its natural resources. Like the mountains are the major source of the fresh water or river water and forest. The Himalayas protects India like a wall from foreign attack, and it also prevents cold winds to enter India in winter season from Central Asia and gives rain in the summer season. The importance of northern plains are: it is the granaries or storehouse of the crops of the country, and most of the peoples live in this plain area and its most populated regions of India. The plateau is also important for India because it is a storehouse of all minerals, which has played an important role in the industrialization of the country. Swift flowing rivers in this plateau area are favorable for hydel power generations also. The coastal plains and the islands are also important for India because it provides fishing and port activities, and scenic beauty of these places attract many tourists. Last, we describe some key notes of this chapter. Majuli. Majuli is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world, which is situated in the river Brahmaputra in Assam. Next, Doab. Doab means the land between 2 rivers. It is made up of two words, do meaning two and ab meaning water. Do meaning two and ab meaning water, means to water. Similarly, Punjab is also made up of two words, Panch, Hindi meanings five, and ab meaning water. So that Punjab is lying between the five rivers, Satluj, Chenab, Bias, Ravi and Jhelum. The Chilka Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India and it lies in the state of Odisha to the south of the Mahanadi River beside the Bay of Bengal. India has only one active volcano which is found in Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Here we see the pictures of active volcano in Barren Island. Thank you.